The old Bryant house stood on the edge of Larchwood, a lonely figure against the gray sky. Locals would tell stories, frightening stories of the family that lived there. They spoke of their sudden disappearance and of the chilling presence that remained. No one dared go near the house. Not anymore. The whispers kept them away. Whispers of cold touches and disembodied laughter, of a darkness that clung to anyone who dared to enter. Eleanor Hastings, a young journalist, heard the whispers. She was drawn to them, to the mystery of the Bryant house. This was her chance to expose the truth, to make a name for herself. She arrived in Larchwood on a dreary afternoon. The town was quiet, almost deserted. The air itself felt heavy, as if secrets clung to it. She could almost feel eyes on her, watching, waiting. She ignored the feeling and the unease that crawled up her spine. She came for a story, and she was determined to find it, even if it meant facing the darkness of the Bryant house. The front door creaked open, revealing a darkened hallway. Dust motes danced in the slivers of sunlight. The air was stale, heavy with the scent of decay. Eleanor stepped inside. The floorboards creaked beneath her feet, each step echoing in the silence. The house felt alive, but not with warmth, with a cold, watchful presence. She walked through the darkened rooms, past furniture draped in white sheets, their shapes distorted in the darkness. Remnants of the Bryant family's life lay scattered around, like ghosts of a forgotten time. She climbed the stairs to the attic. The air grew colder, the darkness deeper. The only sound was the beating of her own heart. The attic was a vast space, filled with shadows and cobwebs. A single window offered a weak light, illuminating the dust motes dancing in the air. The rest of the attic remained shrouded, as if hiding something sinister. Eleanor's gaze fell upon an ornate mirror, standing alone in the center of the attic. It was tall and narrow, its frame made of dark, polished wood. She felt drawn to it, as if it was calling her name. Part 5. A glimpse in the mirror. She moved slowly towards the mirror, her footsteps silent on the dusty floor. The air around her seemed to crackle, charged with an unseen energy. Her reflection stared back at her, but something was wrong. It wasn't quite her. The reflection was distorted, twisted into a cruel mockery. Its eyes were wide, staring, and its lips were curled into a malicious smile. Panic welled up inside her. She tried to look away, but she couldn't. The reflection held her gaze. It was as if something was reaching out from the mirror, cold and insubstantial, yet terrifyingly real. Part 6. Trapped. She stumbled backward, a gasp escaping her lips. She had to get away. Away from the mirror, away from the house. But her feet felt rooted to the spot. She tried to scream, but no sound came out. It was as if the house itself was holding her captive, swallowing her cries for help. The mirror shimmered, the reflection within becoming clearer. The figure in the mirror was emerging. No longer a reflection, but something else. It was tall and skeletal, its form shrouded in darkness. Only its eyes were visible, burning with a cold, malevolent light. Part 7. The shadow's embrace. The shadow moved towards her, its cold, dead eyes locked on hers. Eleanor was paralyzed with terror, unable to move, unable to breathe. The shadow reached for her. Its touch sent a jolt of icy fear through her. She could feel her life force draining away, pulled into the depths of the mirror, where the shadow resided. She closed her eyes, waiting for the inevitable, but it never came. Instead, she heard a voice, whispering her name, softly at first, then louder, more insistent. Part 8. A desperate escape. She opened her eyes. The shadow was gone. The mirror was just a mirror, but the voice remained, urging her to leave, to run, while she still could. She didn't need telling twice. She turned and ran, racing from the attic, down the stairs, not daring to look back. The house seemed to press in on her, trying to trap her. She burst out of the house and into the daylight. Fresh air filled her lungs, but the terror remained, clinging to her like a shroud. Part 9. The curse remains. She never looked back, never returned to Larchwood, but the memory of that day haunted her. The feeling of being watched, trapped, the chilling image of the shadow in the mirror. She knew then that the whispers were true. The Bryant house was cursed, and the mirror was the key. It was a trap, a gateway for something dark and hungry. She tried to forget, to move on, but the terror lingered, a constant reminder of the darkness lurking in the attic of the Bryant house. Part 10. Larchwood's Dark Legend. The old Bryant house still stands on the edge of Larchwood, an unsettling shape against the unforgiving sky. The whispers remain, passed down from generation to generation, the story of the journalist, the mirror, and the shadow that haunts its depths, a warning to any who dare to seek the truth. Some say the journalist escaped. Others whisper that she was never seen again, lost to the darkness of the Bryant house, another victim of the mirror's curse.